Sterling, Dooney, Mosquito, my best friend, the original Hot Boys, right?
Yeah.
We crushed a lot of people.
24 people shot in just 4 days. And yes, you heard that correctly, 24. And that is just in the city of New Orleans.
We've done a lot of dirt. I've left the game alone. So if someone pulls me back in the streets,
just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Then I'm out there head first, and it's like, I have to make a movie. So everybody that got away with a lot of stuff in my past, I gotta go back and revisit that and come back out here now.
Okay.
See, this is the thing, he did a lot of lines where he capped. I'm in the project, I had a green Q45 with bow to the man on the license plate. Coming in the project, I see Sterling sitting on the porch. And I remember, like, the weekend before that, we used to always go out to Biloxi Beach and hang out, like have little parties and get together, the Magnolia. So the guys at the Iberville project came out there. Now, there was already a little beef going on with Mosquito, who was dealing with that Iberville project, because he was living back there. So they pull up, and then I pull up in the parlor. I see them looking across the street where the beach and stuff at. So I see this known stepper named Mumsy. I was like, man, what's up? He's like, nah, man. We see. I said, oh, Sterling over there, because Mumsy and Sterling real tight. You want me to go get them? So because I know if Sterling come over and talk to them, they know they good. They come over there, by the Magnolia. So I go get Sterling. By the time I come back, they was gone. I'll bring you back up to speed. So now, when I come to the project, I see Sterling on the porch. I'm like, man, what's up? You want to go on Canal Street, go to Foot Locker, get some shoes? Some tennis shoes? Like, yeah, let's go. So now we ride, right? I take this around summertime. I remember saying, man, it's too hot to be landing somebody's graveyard. Now, when we get to Canal Street, I was like, man, you want to go on the Iberville project? We'll go holler at Mumsy. Because the Iberville project is like a block behind Canal Street. So like, yeah, let's go. We don't got no beef with nobody in the Iberville project. We never, violated nobody in this project at the time. So we go back there, we see Mumsy, we park, get out the car, stand there, we talk. Mumsy here, I'm standing right here, Sterling, like right here in his back. Mumsy and Sterling facing actually, right here, my car right here. There's a store right here behind us. And it's this girl from out the Melph project. She's obsessed with him. And we've had sex a few times. So she like, give me a ride uptown. I was like, all right, sit over there, we got you. So she sat over on these steps.
Terrance Gangsta Williams would go on to give the gruesome details of Hot Boy Sterling's murder.
Now where she's sitting at, it's like she could sit right here in the building right here. So if you walk past, she gonna see you. If you don't look to the left, you're not gonna see her. She gonna see you. So as we over this way, stand up on the sidewalk talking, the guy he was called Skip back then, they turned in the Rippa. Sidewalk. But now he's putting his handkerchief around his face, he got a hat on. So me and Sterling look at each other, we look at Mumsy, because Mumsy just telling us like this our project ain't nothing gonna happen till you back here. All right. And we both don't have guns on us. The guy coming. So now you start reaching in his back. So we looking, the girl said, y'all better run, that boy got a gun. Let's go. Right, take out. I run around this driveway, hit a shot. Keep going, go through this, got a hole in the fence, go to the hole in the fence, run across the street. They got a police station right there. I see the police. I say, hey, give me a ride back in the project, man. My friend just got shot back here. And my car's still back here. So the police, all right, he come with some excuse. So they go back there, but I walk, go across the street, go back in the cut. When I go back in the cut, right where I ran that, Sterling was running at, and he's laying in the driveway, and the girl who I was supposed to bring uptown, she's holding him in her arm. And he like, and I'm like, and I see those shots in the back of his head though. So that's why when Rip gave a story that, yo, this was great.
He said that you ran with a piece.
Yeah.
Cap.
Let's fast forward. He just said, as I was driving around Fiddle Clara, he just narrated my same story. See what they did now? They did, like I say, all this long time, they went back and take all my stories out. Okay, I'm gonna put myself here. Okay, I'm gonna add this, I'm gonna add that, blah, blah, blah. All right, fine. Now, Rippa the stepper out the Melph. You gonna forget that his brother already said he did a lot of capping.
Yeah, man, I had to come live, man. Let everybody know what it is, man. What it is. Was sick with it, man. I'm gonna make this short and brief. I want everybody to hear this shit, though. Straight from the horse's mouth, man. Yeah. Real talk, man. Let them know I'm on live, man. Let everybody know, man. I'm gonna be real quick with it, man. I ain't got much time. About to be 12, man. You heard me? So check this out, man. Look. You know what I'm saying? I finally watched the whole video with my brother and shit. You heard me? And me being just the OG I'm is, bro. I'm like this. I called my brother up just now a while ago. I called him up. And I'm asking him about the video he made. You feel what I'm saying? Because I wasn't with him when he made it, you feel me? I was supposed to be with him, but I wasn't with him. So I ain't never really get to see the whole video, you heard me? So I finally sat and just watched the whole video. And this how I feel about it, you feel what I'm saying? Everybody wanna know. Look, nigga gonna say what they wanna say, nigga gonna do what they wanna do. You can't stop nobody from saying what they wanna say and do what they gonna do and feel how they feel, you heard me? At the same time, when you speak on things, man, you gotta think about everybody, you heard me? You got to think about everybody that's involved. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about the consequences of what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? And, you got to be ready from everything that come from everything you saying, man. Real talk. And right now, I feel that he went too far. I feel he went way too far. He said way too much. And he really crossed some lines, I feel. You feel what I'm saying? And that's my brother, but I'm just calling it how it is. I'm always going to be sick talk. I'm always going to be 100. I'm always going to be all facts, man. That ain't going to change for nobody, man. I don't care who you is. That ain't going to change for no motherfucking body, man. And that's just sick talk, man. And I told him, you did too much, man. You did too much. You said too much and you crossed too many lines, man. Real talk, man. You don't do no shit like that, man. What's wrong with you, man? You got to be crazy, man. But he feel like he ain't did nothing wrong. He feel like he just was expressing himself. You heard me? And I felt him on that. You was expressing yourself. But just like I told him, I said, if you really felt like that, you should have, you step to people and you let them know how you feel. But if you feel like you just want to express it like that, it's a time and a place for everything. You heard me? And that wasn't the time nor place for that. Well, period. You really felt like that because I ain't know you felt like how you felt like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know you feel how you feel, and you ain't even, you know what I'm saying? So I'm fucked up about it because I didn't know how he felt like this, I seen the video and I'm like, damn, hold up. You know what I'm saying? They got some mixed emotions going on. What's going on, man? I'm like, yeah, but, this shit ain't, I ain't gonna say it ain't nothing because everybody might not be looking at it as nothing. So I ain't taking it as nothing. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck, man. It is what it is. Like I told him, you said what you said, but I feel like you really owe some people an apology too. You might not feel like that, but I feel like that because I'm on this side with them, man. I know how it is, and you on this side with them, so you should know. You know what I'm saying? You said some shit, you crossed some lines, man. Then you did a little capping. Ain't no little capping. You did some capping on there.
We're going to forget that. At this point, y'all, it's entertainment. Now, I'm going to say this, though. I have a loved one that's been lost, and I know his family be checking it out, so I have to be mindful of that, too. But when someone's slandering you, lying, this go don't be like, look, this what happened, blah, 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 and that's it. However, I understand he got to play for the camera, and like I say, people loving the stories. All right. Now, this guy, the one who shut the Noti down for 45 days, this notorious shooter out of New Orleans that everybody's scared of, this gangster and the Noti, because he shut the Noti down, say he come around with the chopper, up that thing out the window and tell him to turn around. Oh, you dude who did that? And he said, you got something to do with that? Everybody in the city knew anything one of the hot boys got into it, we all had something to do with it, bro. That had to be a rhetorical question he asked me. Let me just say that. Rhetorical, for those who don't know, that means he wasn't looking for, he already know the answer. He wasn't looking for an answer back. It had to be. He posed the question and he already knew the answer to that. He wasn't looking for me to respond back to that. However, the man, when I told him, yeah, he said, definitely I knew it was up. You know what? I'm going to take the time to think for me and you. Hold up, bro. You just deleted a notorious hot boy. You up a chopper and tell people to back up. Don't keep coming this way. And I tell you, yeah, I'm with that. You know it's up, but you don't cut loose right there. Can y'all wake me up? It's got to be a dream, y'all. This have to be a dream. It have to be. This fool said he followed me with that chopper. Somebody that's known, as he say, shut the know you down, that's gonna bust his gun, and I tell him, yeah, I'm with the foolishness. He got, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk about it. Man, yo, but listen, y'all, we internet gangsters. So on the internet, you know, you can paint your story how you want to paint your story. You know, you like the army, you can be all you can be. Be all you can be, y'all. Be all you can be. Because clearly this fool, and it's a smart move he did, because he got his story going. This fool took and said, he upped that thing and said, back up. Tell him to back up. First of all, he didn't even see the guys coming up the sidewalk. Because the way his car was parked, it was a house, and he was facing this street, the house here. I was turned like the corner like this, and I'm giving him an eye kind of like, y'all chill out. Because I didn't want them to miss him. And this man wanted to have a regular talk. I didn't go meet him because at that point when he said he wanted to talk, he did say he wanted to talk, let's meet somewhere. He did say all that. I told y'all years ago, or months ago, in my story about that. But I was like, what am I going to meet him for at a Piccadilly's? Because I got him comfortable. Anytime somebody hit one of your friends and then put up on you and say, man, I want to talk, you know, something wrong with him.
I got on Rare Reports and done that interview because I felt the need to correct Terrance Gangsta Williams. Some people will embrace a lie before they embrace the truth, but some people don't know the difference. That's why you have to pull up that black and white and show them the difference.
30 days ago, Skip out the Melph, a.k.a. Rippa, would interview with Rare Reports and tell his side of the story about the Hot Boy Sterling incident. Rippa would face backlash for comments that he made about shutting down the Know Ya for 45 days. Skip's brother Cleve, a.k.a. Sick with it out the Melph, would also not be happy with comments that Rippa had made.
You speak on things, man, you got to think about everybody, you heard me? You got to think about everybody that's involved. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about the consequences of what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you got to be ready from everything to come from everything you saying, man. Real talk. And right now, I feel that he went too far. I feel he went way too far. He said way too much. And he really crossed some lines, I feel. You feel what I'm saying? And that's my brother, but I'm just calling it how it is.
Being true to himself and standing on principle, Skip would take to his own social media platform to clear the air on the 45-day Know Ya shutdown.
He was lying about why that situation happened or why it occurred, and I felt the need to correct that and fix that because he was creating a lot of bad energy and tension on the streets with his reason for why that happened or why it transpired, and I felt the need to get on here and really fix that. You know what I'm saying? And let people know the real reason why it transpired. A year I watched that dude get on YouTube and lie and tell half-truths and so on and so forth. But, I mean, it is what it is. I try my best not to react to foolishness and dumbness, you know what I'm saying? But him, I had to entertain him. It was imperative that I entertain him, you know what I'm saying? Because the guy, he just He's just a magnet. He's just a magnet for bull crap, and he just want to start some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now you on here talking about you trying to stop the violence and so on and so forth, but you creating situations that can bring that effect on. I'm not in the business of doing that. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I'm a squash or quail or try to bring the tension down. I don't want to elevate it in no way, form, or fashion. Like I said, correct some of the things and the lies that he was telling. It was my job and my responsibility to tell you the truth, because he was talking about me with a lot of field incidents, specifically me and my brother Cleve, sick with it. Now my boy, on the other hand, Mr. Williams, now I can't say the same. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you already quote unquote a known dude, but yet and still you want to tell lies and create situations. Hey, do you, my boy?
Feeling like it was his responsibility to address Gangsta, Rippa would again state that Gangsta lied about the entire situation, which involves he and his brother Cleve, aka Sick With It. Seemingly frustrated, Rippa would again accuse Gangsta of wanting internet clout. Rippa would go in on the 45-day shutdown and explain exactly what he meant.
Let's address the 45-day shutdown first. Let's address that. I felt like some people are too old or too mature. I looked at them in another light to take that comment and run with it the way they did with it. I mean, it grew a mind of its own. I mean, if you're from New Orleans and a group of girls from one area go to another group of girls, let's just say the girls out the Melph in New Orleans East with some girls out New Orleans East. You know what the girls out the Melph gonna say? We went around there and shut it down. If St. All Marching 100 Band go to Claiborne and Martin Luther King and challenge Booker T. Washington High School to a drum line, you know what St. All gonna say? We went around there and shut it down. Here's the thing. I was not saying that I went round in the Magnolia every single day for 45 days straight. Wasn't saying that. Through a span of 45 days, what did I see? Block parties, DJs. When did the block parties and DJs occur in New Orleans? In the Magnolia, on the weekend. Through a span of 45 days, if they had a DJ back there were times when I went back there through a span of 45 days, either went to the DJ and shot in the air and the police came and shut it down, or I went in the courtway next to that DJ knowing what kind of reaction it was gonna cause and shot in the air and they went shut it down. And then there were times after I did that a few times and I went around there in the weekend where I didn't see no DJ, I'm looking around, I'm like, where everybody at? Damn, I must have really shut it down. Bruh, you got to chill out. You got to stop going back there because you're putting other people in it that ain't got nothing to do with it, because you're going in these different courtways with people that ain't got nothing to do with it. I said, you know what? Y'all right. Y'all are absolutely correct. And I stopped. I slowed my roll. What I started doing was try to pinpoint the courtways where I felt like I was going to run into my ops. Here's my thing. That happened in 1996. It's 2023. That was 27 years ago. So if you're under 27, come on, homie. There is no reason for you to even comment on that. If you are 35, that was 27 years ago. So that means you was 8 when that happened. If you 40, that means you was 13. So how could you possibly be upset or in your feelings about something that had nothing to do with you? But, I mean, hey, I'm cool with it. What I'm saying is, I meant no harm to the Magnolia as a whole. Like I said, I got love for the Magnolia. And since that interview has occurred, I done talked to like 5 to 6 dudes out the Magnolia. I mean, real big homies. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about dudes that stand up dudes out the Magnolia. And all of them told me I was not wrong for telling my side of the story. Mr. Williams, I'm tired of you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really tired of you, bro. Now, I'm humble, and I'm cool, and I'm laid back, and everybody know that about me. My brother Sick is the opposite of me. He a loud wire, I'm more laid back. It's a known fact that me and you are at odds. Issuing you a challenge, Mr. Answer Right Back. I'm gonna punch your head off, and you're gonna punch mine off, and I doubt that seriously.
Regardless to what onlookers of the New Orleans stories may say, Skipper, a.k.a. Rip, out the Melph, has a stand-up reputation in the mean streets of New Orleans. With a humble demeanor and laid-back personality, Rippa's kindness should never be taken for weakness. The OG from the Melph has found himself in the center of controversy ever since his Rare Report interview. Ripper mentions that the Hot Boy Sterling incident took place 27 years ago, and the only reason he told his story was because he felt Terrance Gangsta Williams was telling half-truths. Retired from the streets, focusing on the youth and feeding the homeless, Rippa sends a strong challenge to Terrance Gangsta Williams. Rippa would express his frustration with the online antics of Terrance Gangsta Williams. Skip would say that he is tired of gangsta and that he has struck a nerve with the foolishness that he has going on the internet.
Mr. Williams, I'm tired of you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really tired of you, bro. Like, you have struck a nerve in me with this foolishness that you got going on.
Rippa would bring to the attention of Terrance Gangsta Williams that he too speaks to the youth.
And you speak to the youth, I speak to the youth.
Tonight, a unique conference aimed at reaching at-risk youth and celebrating Black men who've overcome similar obstacles
to share strategies they use to avoid violence and other distractions.
I mean, you have your nonprofit, and my nonprofit is being created as we speak. I want to help the homeless. I want to set up a table. I mean, anybody that's looking at this can get in the comments and let me know, you know what I'm saying? I want to set up a table. I want to get out there. I want to feed these people. You know what I'm saying? Any of you big companies like Walmart, Popeyes, anybody that want to get in and help us feed and help clothe these people, like I want to get some blankets, I want to get them some towels, I want to get out there and I want to feed these people under the bridge, uptown, you know what I'm saying? I had an idea of how I could make some money and buy the stuff, buy the tents, the towels, you know, the little toothpastes, the mouthwashes and all of that, and put them in bags and hand them out to the people. I got a really great idea. And this is where you come in, Mr. Williams. You can help me with this situation. We speak to the youth about stop the violence. We can stop the violence. But right now, I want to issue a challenge. Me and you, one-on-one, in the boxing ring. We're gonna go 3 rounds. 3-minute rounds. If you want, we could go 4 or 5. Doesn't matter to me. But 3-minute rounds. We're gonna get a site, mutual site, set up the boxing ring, charge people to get in, give it one of these channels, charge people a pay-per-view to watch it. Part of the money, part of the proceeds that we collect, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go 50-50 with everything. I know part of the proceeds that we both collect, part of our proceeds, we give it to our charities. Like me, I'm gonna help the homeless. You wanna do something with your nonprofit? Hey, do your thing. But I'm issuing you a challenge, Mr. Answer Right Back. Answer right back to this one here. Frankie of the year. Answer right back to this one. Hewitt, Dewitt, Lewitt, Mr. Duck. I want to see you answer this challenge. We're going to get with our people. We're going to get on the phone and we're going to have a conversation and we're going to talk about getting this boxing ring. That's if you accept my challenge. I promise you, the United States of America going to want to see this one. And guess what? It's history. It's a known fact that me and you are at odds, especially in Louisiana, all over the world, all these people, California, Washington, D.C., New York, Florida, all these people chiming in. Well, I'm pretty sure they'll show up and show out. They're going to pay the ticket price to get in here and watch this fight. They're going to get in there and pay to see me punch your head off. Because that's what's going to happen, partner. Either I'm gonna punch your head off or you're gonna punch mine off, and I doubt that seriously. But I'm issuing you a challenge to a boxing match. Mr. Answer right back.
30 days ago, Rippa did an interview with Rare Reports. The comment section was filled with comments saying that the story was all cap. In part 2 of Rare Reports' interview, Rippa would disclose the Hot Boy Sterling paperwork. Terrance Gangsta will respond, asking Rippa to disclose all of the paperwork and claiming to have signed an affidavit helping Rippa to get 5 years. The internet will explode, taking sides without logic and claiming that Rippa had lied about the entire situation. Taking heat from his hood, his brother, the internet, and his peers, Rippa would disclose the full details of the paperwork, showing that there were actually witnesses that testified on his behalf and not Terrance Gangsta Williams. Rippa would disclose the paperwork showing that the courts enacted Rule 35, reducing Gangsta's time for taking the stand on Rippa. Let's listen in as Skip, aka Rippa, exposes OG Giggity, Mr. Answer Right Back.
You believe Sterling had one and he didn't have one? Dude Norfolk carrying multiple guns. We talking about a well-known stepper. Gangsta ran with his gun. A well-known, this in particular day, he had a gun, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta say, some people are just naive and some people are just gullible. I mean, it is what it is. Some people will deny the truth. Some people will embrace it. But I mean, it is what it is. It's up to those individuals, and they have their own opinion about whatever people decide to post on YouTube or Instagram or whatever it may be. But for me, it's amazing to me how I see some people will embrace a lie before they embrace the truth. But some people don't know the difference. That's why you have to pull up that black and white and show them the difference. Call myself doing that. Apparently some felt some kind of way about it and feel like it was cap. I don't even like caps. I can count on one hand the number of caps that I own. I have no reason to cap or lie. I don't believe in that. I'm a real person, I'm a real dude, and I don't believe in capping. What do I need to cap for? Like, what will I gain by capping? Like, how will that benefit me by capping to y'all about something that y'all don't know about? I'm telling y'all the truth about a situation that occurred, so that was no need for me to cap. The story that I told about the incident that happened or transpired that day in the Hopperville, when I said that Gangsta ran with his gun. Okay, I'm gonna address this right quick. Because he admitted, he came back and responded to that video and admitted that he ran to the police station and got escorted back. No cap. Terrance Gangsta Williams ran with a gun on him. Mr. Williams went on this real life interview and said that he signed an affidavit so I could get 5 years. Let me address that. A dude in the streets, well-known stepper, signed an affidavit. You telling me he signed an affidavit for his enemy / ops so they could go home? That sounds so far-fetched to me, it's ridiculous. I was charged with first degree. The charge was broken down to second degree. Then the charge was broken down to manslaughter. Reason being, not because Mr. Williams signed an affidavit. I had witnesses show up in court to verify my story and my side of what happened that day. 2 came to court, the other 3 signed affidavits because they were afraid of retaliation. But 2 individuals built the courage up to come to court on my behalf and say that I was shot at and I shot back, injuring the other party. That's what happened. That is the prime definition of manslaughter. I got 5 years for manslaughter. That's how I ended up with 5 years. Not on manslaughter. I was initially arrested for first. They broke it down again to manslaughter. This was during the trial process. As all of these different things were coming out and people were started taking a stand and all of that, yeah, that's how that went. No cap. This is the front of the paperwork. See this seal right here? See that seal? It feels kind of rough. You can feel it. The texture sits off the paper. That's the seal of the District Attorney's Office in New Orleans, Louisiana. This, ladies and gentlemen, is your District Attorney, Jason Williams, who runs the District Attorney's Office. And like I said, some people wanted me to revisit this, so that's what we're gonna do. I took the initiative of highlighting some of the paperwork for y'all so y'all can get a better understanding, or should I say a better view of what's going on. In this in particular part, this is where they call him to the stand and he's sworn in. And they asked him about, was he a witness in the murder? Let me show it to you. I can't really read backwards, but they sworn him in. The state calls witness Terrance Gangsta Williams to the stand. He's duly sworn in. And they say, please state your name for the record, Terrance Williams. Terrance. They asked him, was he a witness to the murder? A murder that happened in '96. As you can see, there's more of it. He said he was a witness to the murder of Mr. Sterling Lofty. He said, who was killed that day? Sterling Lofty. Okay. On this page it says, do you recall, did you pick out anybody at a lineup? Because he's talking about a photo lineup. He said, yes, ma'am. And how did you mark the photograph pick? He said, by putting my name, date, time, and year on it. And it's for purpose of this motion, all right, well, I like to flip through the packs of these and see if you can find out if which one has your signature on. He said, he does so. Okay, do you recognize that information? He says, and what's on that? He said, yes, ma'am. He said, what is on there? My signature, my date. He said, can you turn it over? Okay, this is the photograph that you picked out. Yes, ma'am. Okay. What did that person do? Did you see that person? Do you see that person again in court today? He says, yes, ma'am. So, I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna let y'all read it for yourself. Like I said, I mean, hey, it's nothing like that black and white paperwork. I just want y'all to understand that there's no reason for capping, man. I want y'all to really see what's going on and make that determination on your own of what's popping with Mr. Terrance Gangsta Williams. Kind of moving the paper slow so y'all can like kind of read everything on here. Trying not to put it too close. I want y'all to really see what's going on. So at the bottom it said, did you see that person in court today? He says, yes, ma'am. And it says, could you tell us where he is? With the white shirt, the second one. Let the record reflect proper identification of the defendant. Now, I was sitting on the bench. There were 5 people. It was a guy with an orange shirt on, me with a white t-shirt on, 2 more guys with orange shirts on, and the last guy had a white shirt on. So, orange, white, 2 orange, white. So that's how that went. After that, they asked him, did he speak to the police when the murder originally happened back in 96? He said yes. Okay, at that time, did you tell them that you could identify the person? He said no. And why was that? He said, because I wanted revenge. Did you see the person who committed the murder again after the murder was committed? Yes, ma'am. All right, and about how long after that? About a week or two. And did you speak to him at that time? So that's what's highlighted. First is gonna highlight, you know what I'm saying? Could you tell us where he is? Could you tell us where he is? This is when he identifies me. He picks me out sitting down on a bench. He picks me out as I'm sitting down on a bench. He said the second one with the white shirt. And down here, it goes into the other stuff. Well, he, when they asked him, did he speak to the police back in 96? And he told them, yeah, he spoke to him, but he didn't identify me because he said he wanted revenge. Okay? And there you go. All right. I hope y'all got all of that. All right. And they asked him, did he see me? And he said about a week or two. Said, did you speak to him at that time? He says, uh-huh. And did he tell you anything? He said, yeah, we were supposed to meet somewhere and talk about it. Okay, about what? About the murder, about him and I beefing and stuff. Why did you have a beef? Because of the, okay, is the person that you spoke to about afterwards, is that the same person seated in court today that you identified previously? Yes, ma'am. And at some point, did you learn who his name was? Yes, ma'am. And what name did you learn? His street name. And what was that? Skip. How are you sure that the person that you picked out of the photo lineup is the same person that you saw often? Is the same person that you talked about with a few weeks ago it happened? Yes, ma'am. They asked him, was he sure? He said, yes, ma'am. And when Detective Dill showed you these photographs, were you promised anything for speaking with Detective Dill about this case? Yes, ma'am. And what was that? That a letter, that I would get a letter to my judge when I was sentenced. I'll let y'all read that. Okay. Here you go. Say, did he tell you anything? Yes, ma'am. We supposed to meet up, talk about the beef and stuff, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. All right? I want y'all to get all of that. And asking him about some point did you learn what his name was, and he told him my name. I'm gonna move this kind of slow through here so y'all can read it and kind of get it. Okay. And it goes on to say, after speaking with Detective Dill, that was the detective working the case at the time, when you promised anything. And he said yes. He was promised that a letter would be written to his judge. The letter was actually a request. It's called a Rule 35. Rule 35B, to be exact. It is a law now. It is a law. Anytime you write on something, your time is automatically cut. That's a law now. As you can see, it was a law back then also.
In Gangsta's video, he would not address the affidavit or the Rule 35B ruling. Terrance Gangsta Williams would only address running with the blicky. Any real dude from the streets would know that Ripper is sticking to the information that he had given to the NOPD, as murder has no statutory limit. The streets are talking, and they're saying that Ripper was already out and on the streets. Claiming to sign an affidavit to get him out is cap. Anyone with half a brain knows that Skip was already a free man. Gangsta got locked up in 97. Skip got picked up after. Make it make sense. Let's listen in as Terrance Gangsta Williams explains running with the blicky.
Just around summertime, I remember saying, man, it's too hot to be landing somebody's graveyard. Now, when we get to Canal Street, I was like, man, you want to go on the Ivoryville Project? We'll go holler at Mumsy, because the Ivoryville Project is like a block behind Canal Street. So like, yeah, let's go. We don't got no beef with nobody in the Ivoryville Project. We never, violated nobody in this project at the time. So we go back there, we see Mumsy, we park, get out the car, stand there, we talk. Mumsy here, I'm standing right here, Sterling, like right here in his back. Mumsy started Tracy, actually, right here, my car right here. There's a store right here behind us. And it's this girl from out the Melph Project. She's obsessed with me. And we've had sex a few times. So she like, give me a ride uptown. I was like, all right, sit over there, we got you. So she sat over on these steps.
Terrance Gangsta Williams would go on to give the gruesome details of Hot Boy Sterling's murder.
Now where she's sitting at, it's like she could sit right here in the building right here. So if you walk past, she gonna see you. If you don't look to the left, you're not gonna see her. She gonna see you. So as we over this way, stand up on the sidewalk talking, the guy he was called Skip back then, they turned into Rippa. Sidewalk. But now he's putting his handkerchief around his face, he got a hat on. So me and Sterling look at each other, we look at Mumsy, because Mumsy just telling us like this our project ain't nothing gonna happen till you back here. All right. And we both don't have guns on us. The guy coming. So now you start reaching in his back. So we looking, the girl said, y'all better run, that boy got a gun. Let's go. Right, take out. I run around this driveway, I hit a shot. Keep going, go through this, got a hole in the fence, go to the hole in the fence, run across the street. They got a police station right there. I see the police. I say, hey, give me a ride back in the project, man. My friend just got shot back here. And my car's still back here. So the police, all right, he come with some excuse. So they go back there, but I walk, go across the street, go back in the cut. When I go back in the cut, right where I ran, that Sterling was running at. And he's laying in the driveway. And the girl who I was supposed to bring uptown, she's holding him in her arms. And he like, and I'm like, and I see those shots in the back of his head though. So that's why when Rip gave the story that, this was great.
He said that you ran with a piece.
Yeah.
Cap. If you're from the NO, it would be extremely hard to believe that Giggity ran with the blicky. This story almost sounds like a classic setup. Was Giggity and Sterling set up? Nothing beats the double cross, but the triple cross. What's in question is not whether or not Gangsta ran with the blicky. What's in question is, did he snitch on Ripper to get a Rule 35, or did he snitch on Ripper so that Skip could get back out? You be the judge. Skip has already disclosed his paperwork. Until someone else comes forward or Gangsta can provide proof, the truth to the matter is, the mystery still remains. There are three sides to every story: their side, his side, and the truth. Like Terrance Gangsta Williams says, he has never been a tough gangster. He's always been a smart gangster. Neither one of us on the internet has a dog in this fight. May the grace of Allah be bestowed on both men. Ever since the release of Terrance Gangsta Williams, he would encounter ops over the internet. Majority of those ops would be straight up clowns and internet gangsters. Not all are internet gangsters. When it comes to Sick With It, Rippa, and Cali Chill, these are real dudes from the streets. From the Mac to the Melph to the Cali, yo. Although Terrance Gangsta Williams, Mr. Answer Right Back, will go back and forth over the internet with his ops, it's evident that Gangsta is defending his stories and entertaining the people. Terrance clearly doesn't want any of this to spill over to the streets. As common sense would have it, Gangsta is no pushover. And as he famously likes to say, if a fire starts, he'll put it out. Since his release, Terrance has been doing great things for the community, which includes feeding and providing clothes to the homeless, speaking to the youth in the hood, and even starting his own non-profit organization aimed at supporting underprivileged children. A small crowd of onlookers from the internet would be naysayers, stating that once a snake, always a snake. Terrance Gangsta Williams is a snitch. Gangsta will not let those naysayers faze him as he will continue to upload to the internet. What did, however, get under Gangsta's skin was his ops claiming to want the same thing for underprivileged kids and the homeless. Terrance would point out that his ops have been home for years and have never attempted to help the underprivileged or the homeless until they would see his works. And as we all know, faith without works is dead. Let's listen in as Terrance Gangsta Williams gives his take.
Got the Instagram, they need us, third ward. You know what I noticed though? Few of my ops, internet ops, they've been watching my move, watching what I'm doing, and now they want to have nonprofits. Now they want to help the children. Man, I've been going 23 years. They've been home for a long time. Now one time they thought about helping the children. Now they want to help the children. This stuff is crazy, man. But it is what it is. We're going to see, man. We're going to see they really about helping the children.
You would be hard-pressed to say what Giggity is saying here isn't 100% correct. His ops are still halfway in, halfway out, so to speak. They still hang in the hood, getting loaded and hanging with the wrong crowds. There's nothing wrong with your presence in the hood if your actions represent change. But solely hanging out in the hood just to say that you're a street dude, keeping it real, is total hypocrisy. No matter what Gangsta's past history would be regarding snitching, you have to give Terrance Gangsta Williams his flowers for the work that he's currently doing with the homeless and underprivileged youth. Several months ago, Skip, a.k.a. Rippa, out the Melph, took to social media to share his story about Sterling Lofton, a.k.a. Hot Boy Sterling. This interview will be broken down into segments. Skip will tell his side of what actually happened, as well as share the details of his paperwork, where he would blast Terrance Williams, a.k.a. Gangster, for being a rat. This would trigger multiple responses from Gangsta. Gangsta will go on to tell his side and excuse Skip of capping. Cleve, Rip's brother, would not be happy with his brother's interview, going on to say that he didn't know Skip was still in his feelings about the situation. Cleve would also refer to some of what Rip had said in his interview as cap.
Look, nigga gonna say what they wanna say, nigga gonna do what they wanna do. You can't stop nobody from saying what they want to say and do what they gonna do and feel how they feel, you heard me? You got to think about everybody that's involved. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about the consequences of what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you got to be ready from everything to come from everything you saying, man. Right now, I feel that he went too far. I feel he went way too far. He said way too much. And he really crossed some lines, I feel. You feel what I'm saying? And that's my brother, but I'm just calling it how it is. I'm always going to be sick talk. I'm always going to be 100. I'm always going to be all facts, man. They ain't going to change for nobody, man. I don't care who you is. They ain't going to change for no motherfucking body, man. And that's just sick talk, man. And I told him, you did too much, man. You did too much. You said too much and you crossed too many lines, man. Real talk, man. You don't do no shit like that, man. What's wrong with you, man? You gotta be crazy, man. You feel like you just want to express it like that. It's a time and a place for everything, you heard me? And that wasn't the time nor place for that, whoop. Yeah, but, you know, this shit ain't, you know, I ain't gonna say it ain't nothing, because everybody might not be looking at it as nothing. So I ain't taking it as nothing. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck, man. It is what it is. Like I told him, you said what you said, but I feel like you really owe some people an apology too. You might not feel like that, but I feel like that because I'm on this side with them, man. I know how it is, and you on this side with them, so you should know. You know what I'm saying? You said some shit, you know, you crossed some lines, man. Then you did a little capping. Ain't no little capping. You did some capping on there.
The internet would explode. Sides will be taken. The supporters of Terrance Williams, a.k.a. Gangsta, will voice their opinions all over social media. In one of the segments, Skip will claim to have shut the Know You Down for 45 days. The Know You twins, along with others, would upload videos to their platforms responding to these claims.
It's about addressing Skip out the Melph about the 45-day Magnolia shutdown. Let y'all know that boy put a 8 on a 2, a 10 on a 2 on that one. He stretched that one out a little bit.
Put a lot of cut on that.
That ain't what happened. He put some cut on that one. That ain't what happened though. Nobody can't walk through nobody project and shut no project down in 45 days. I don't want y'all out of town people to think that, because people from New Orleans know better.
Right.
I mean, we know better than that. So stop the cap, man. Come on, bro. Right. Now, in their defense, in Cleve and Rippa defense, they real street dudes, but I can't take that from them. And their reputation is they stand up guys out the Melph project. Yeah, we got to get on you for lying though. That don't make you fake or phony because you told a lie. You just got caught. Yeah, come on, man. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You ain't no criminal till you get caught. Come on, man. Like what's the man say? Come on, man. You ain't no liar till you get caught either. So I think he just stretched the truth a little bit, got a little excited when he was telling this story, but ain't nobody gonna shut no Magnolia project down, especially coming into LD. No, indeed, man. So if you come back there for 45 days, somebody would have said, man, hold on, who do this? Who this nigga keep coming back? Who this black dude, man? This black ass niggas. But they missing tooth to bed. Nigga would have got on you. Nigga got on you, son. And then, not just that, you'd have been doing Section 8s coming in and out of LaSalle Street driveway because it's just two small horseshoes, man. Stop the cap, bro.
Rippa would later retract the 45-day statement, saying that he meant in between a span of 45 days. His intent was never to deceive the people into believing that he shut the Know You Down for 45 days straight. Gangsters, whose platform will blow up, will continue to go on other platforms, sharing his life and times in the streets and in the pen. As common sense would have it, the interviews will want to discuss the Rip and Sterling situation. This isn't a matter of Skip's name being brought up by Terrance Williams, aka Gangsta. He's obviously being asked these questions to discuss in the interview. Skip, who will grow tired of his name being brought up in every interview, will create a YouTube channel of his own. Rippa would upload 7 videos to his channel. 5 of those videos will be aimed at Terrance Gangsta Williams, challenging Gangsta to a boxing match. Skip stated that the proceeds will be donated to their charities of choice. Irritated and emotionally frustrated, Skip would take several shots at Gangsta's character, calling him out for lying about the affidavit Gangsta claimed to have signed to get Rippa a sentence reduction. Skip will go on to say that what he meant by having nothing to do with Hot catching the case was that he didn't rat on Hot, not that he didn't have any involvement at all with the case like the narrative Gangsta presented on his platform. Rip will question Gangsta on not being able to produce paperwork proving that he cooperated against Hot, stating that any man with half a brain would know that if Gangsta really could produce paperwork, he would have done so a long time ago when he did the initial interview about the Sterling situation. Sarcastically commending Gangsta on his comedic personality, Skip will make sure to mention that the NO has a no-fly zone for rats and Gangsta can't come back to the city. This remains to be seen, as it is alleged that Terrance Williams, aka Gangsta, will be filming his documentary in the city. How does this back and forth end? Leave your thoughts in the comment section.